Certainly one of the things we talk about is compared to what. And I think even though David mentioned that there are often reforms implemented in a package, and so pulling something apart and saying it was just because of the risk assessment tool, we haven't done a controlled experiment that compares two jurisdictions, one that does a whole bucket of reforms and one that only implements a tool and sees what happened. But you can actually look at jurisdictions as we do at PJI and see that really one of the predominant features of having a conversation about whether to implement a tool or how a tool gets implemented is actually that those tables where people are coming together talk about the values of the system. They ask the purpose of the jail. They look at charges that people are arrested for and how long people are spending in jail and under what conditions they're being held pre-trial, or how they're being released and what conditions are being placed on them and whether or not those conditions are onerous. Those value-based discussions, coming together to have a conversation that is centered around, should we use a tool, should we not use a tool, what tool should we use, what charges will we use the tool for, what will we not talk about at this table? Those actually, if those conversations are decarceral in nature, if they are race equity focused, you will see, this is just our anecdotal experience over all these years, you will see jurisdictions move in the direction of lowering their jail population and of not putting people on too onerous of conditions. I think it's way more complicated than just a tool versus not a tool, or should we go back to just relying on money bond schedules or simply criminal history records without some objective assessment of those. It's much more complicated than that. And I think the purpose of this paper, which I find so amazing and wonderful, is that it gives us a chance to really question the values and the context into which tools are being placed.
Thanks, Sharice. Yeah, I would totally chime in and say, I think the thing that I found most productive about conversations regarding risk assessment is that they do frequently then lead to larger conversations regarding pretrial justice, the history of bail reform in this country and the history of what we're contending with, and how from the tools we have available, how we can promote greater racial equity within the system as it exists today.